What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to the latest Liverpool transfer news, and in this video we will talk about the transfer story that Liverpool are in pole position to sign Koulibaly, the Napoli centre-back who is an absolute beast. He's 28 years old and he could be the replacement for Dejan Lovren. Jurgen Klopp is eyeing Koulibaly as a potential transfer in the summer once the financial situation clears up and once the Premier League finishes the season. And let me know guys, do you think that Koulibaly would be a good transfer? Should Liverpool spend 50, 60, maybe even 70 million pounds on Koulibaly? But think about how much Liverpool haven't spent in the past 18 months. We didn't practically make a big transfer. The biggest one I think was Minamino for 7 million. And also Liverpool could sell players worth up to 80 million pounds. So basically we could break even with selling the likes of Lovren, Shaqiri, maybe even Divock Origi. Lallana is leaving the club. So those four players and their wages could make up for that one transfer of Koulibaly. So I don't think it's totally unrealistic. And the reports coming from fans are saying that Paris Saint-Germain have withdrawn their interest and Liverpool jumped into pole position to land Koulibaly. So what do you think about this? In the comments below, let me know, and subscribe, like the video if you enjoy these. And in this video we will talk about the Premier League spending as much as 4 million pounds on testing kits to have enough tests available for the Premier League to resume, and lots of other stories to talk about in this video. So after spending 5 years at Napoli in this area, Koulibaly wants to leave. He wants to try something new, and he has been a long-term target for the likes of Manchester United and Liverpool as well. And Jurgen Klopp isn't expected to make many big summer transfer moves, but I think he wants to sign at least one big attacker, and I think we need to replace Lovren as well. It's a big debate who should be Lovren's replacement. Should it be just a young player or should it be an experienced one like Koulibaly? I mean, imagine a Koulibaly-Van Dijk partnership. That would be an absolutely incredible centre-back partnership in the Premier League, and it would serve Liverpool so well. For the next 2 or 3 years we could have the strongest defense in the Premier League and potentially in the world. And it showed that sometimes our defense, especially in the Champions League and in some Premier League games, wasn't as strong when Van Dijk need to be partnered with Lovren, for example. And according to some French news outlets, Koulibaly has indicated that he wants to leave Napoli and join a Champions League club. And Man United are not certain to finish in the Champions League. They still have to probably get 5th place, and Manchester City's transfer ban need to be upheld for Man United to qualify for the Champions League. So them getting to Koulibaly is never a certainty at this point. Liverpool, however, already are 100% in the Champions League next season. We already qualified mathematically. And yes, it would be a heavy transfer spend, but it would be worth it, because Don Hutchinson, a journalist working for ESPN, saying that it would be money well spent on Koulibaly. This is what he said: I think if Koulibaly comes through the door at Liverpool and he plays alongside Virgil van Dijk, I think you wrap the title up right there and give it to Liverpool. I don't think there's anyone better. There won't be another partnership like the Koulibaly-Van Dijk partnership. The best defenders out there in Europe, apart from the Premier League, at the moment is Milan Skriniar at Inter Milan. My gut feeling is he's going to join Pep Guardiola at Man City, and alongside him is Koulibaly of Napoli. I think at 28 he's a great age. He's got good pace, he's strong, he's a leader. I think he walks straight into Liverpool's lineup and he makes them harder to beat. He makes them an even bigger physical presence. You wouldn't want to play against Van Dijk or Koulibaly. How on earth as a striker do you even think about getting any joy out of those two? I think if you are going to win titles and you want to try and adapt, Liverpool have to be harder to beat. You have to go into Europe, have to have people like Koulibaly who can lead you in Europe. You can try and go that way when games are tight. If you want a clean sheet, Koulibaly, Van Dijk, Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold would be nigh on impossible to break down with Alisson behind them. And it would just put fear into the opposition. I would imagine into every manager, into every player that lines up against Liverpool, trying to come up with a game plan of how you are actually going to score goals. What is Liverpool's weakness going to be defensively? And with Koulibaly and Van Dijk and Alisson as that sort of triangle at the back, that three, they would take some beating. And I fully agree with the views of Don Hutchinson. I mean, it would be an absolute dreamland, an absolutely fantastic partnership, centre-back partnership. And we have to take it into account that Joe Gomez and Matip are all injury-prone players. And Koulibaly has played pretty consistently a lot of games every season for Napoli. The biggest question is Koulibaly's age. He will turn 29 years old in June this year, so not too long from now. And basically, when you start next season, he will be already 29 years old. Do you spend 50, 60, 70 million pounds on a 29-year-old Koulibaly? I think if you have the money, if you have the funds, and if Liverpool have the funds, then I should think we should do it, because centre-backs can play a lot longer than attackers. They don't rely as much as on their pace and physical attributes. I think Koulibaly could still be a top defender at 32, 33 years old. So we are getting a good 3-4 years out of Koulibaly. And if the Koulibaly-Van Dijk partnership guarantees Liverpool the title for the next 3 or 4 years, then I would say that's more than enough guarantee that is money well spent and a great investment into Liverpool's future. And Koulibaly started out his career in the French second division at Metz. And then he signed for Genk, where he played 2 seasons, and in 2014 he signed for Napoli, and he has been an ever-present at Napoli, averaging around 40 games per season, every season at Napoli. The big thing that Koulibaly is missing is silverware, trophies. He only won a Belgian Cup with Genk in 2013, and he won the Italian Super Cup with Napoli in 2014. And that's all the silverware that he has at the moment. So he doesn't have a league title, he doesn't have a Champions League, and I think Koulibaly is looking at his career at 28 years old. He wants to win some trophies, he wants silverware, a cup to be shown for all his efforts, and I think he deserves to actually be a part of a team like Liverpool who can challenge for the Champions League, who can challenge for the Premier League title. And Koulibaly is a very strong, very physical player. So I think the Premier League would suit him, which is a very physical league. And what is significant with Koulibaly is that his contract expires in just 1 year. So Napoli basically have to sell him right now for a cut price deal. Otherwise they will lose him for absolutely nothing next summer. And that's why I'm saying that maybe even a 50 million pound transfer fee could be feasible for Koulibaly. Because as I said, if Napoli don't sell him now, then they will lose him for absolutely nothing. I'm pretty sure that Koulibaly won't extend his contract, and he will probably leave on a free transfer if Napoli can't sell him right now. So Italian newspapers are saying that Everton, Tottenham and Newcastle, with their newfound money, are interested in Koulibaly, but Koulibaly only wants to sign for an absolute top club who are playing and competing for the Champions League. Paris Saint-Germain, Liverpool, Real Madrid and Barcelona were the 4 clubs interested in him, but Paris Saint-Germain apparently withdrew their interest because they want to offer Thiago Silva a contract extension. That is definitely a cheaper option for PSG in this climate. Koulibaly wasn't really interested in the project at Paris Saint-Germain, and instead the centre-half Koulibaly shows a clear preference for one destination, the Premier League, and Liverpool has just made a very noticed entry in the Koulibaly transfer saga. The money aspect is just too much in my opinion. I think Liverpool would more sensible option to spend a little bit less on a young centre-back, and the Van Dijk Joe Gomez partnership is more than good enough to fight for the Premier League and the Champions League next season, and we will have Matip as the reserve or the backup centre-back and one other young centre-back. I think the money that Napoli would ask for Koulibaly might just be too much for Liverpool, especially because of this uncertain financial crisis that is unfolding among the football world and the global business world as well. And there are reports coming out that the government are supporting the Premier League to spend £4 million on 40,000 testing kits before the Premier League season resumes, because the Premier League wants to return in the month of June, and the Premier League collectively is spending 4 million, which is not too much because it's like £200,000 for every club. But I think the Premier League itself will spend this money and not each club individually, because the Premier League wants to make sure that enough testing kits are available for basically every player, every staff member, manager, everybody who attends the games. And other reports also indicate that one unnamed Premier League club already has started sending out Premier League testing kits to players' homes to actually test themselves. Other clubs are expected to follow suit in the coming weeks. And according to reports in the British media, Premier League clubs will resume training next week, and they are gearing up for a resumption of the Premier League in June, which I'm super excited about. And already next weekend the Bundesliga starts with a fantastic Dortmund-Schalke game, and I'm really looking forward to finally watching some live football on my TV. But there is a growing concern that if Premier League clubs can access testing kits, then why can't everybody else in the health sector? And that's a problem. Dr. John Ashton, the former director of public health in the Northwest, said, "I don't think we should be doing this until everybody has a level playing field. If football can get results in this amount of time, then why can't everybody else?" But I think it's a funding issue. Like, hospitals should get enough tests, in my opinion, but the private sector who are selling tests maybe are pricing the tests, so hospitals just cannot afford that many tests that are required, and the Premier League can more than easily afford the testing kits, and the championship level clubs probably can afford enough testing kits as well. But there is a big problem in League 1 and League 2, and that's why I think Gary Neville and others are saying that probably the lower leagues won't resume the season and they will just cancel it, because there are just not enough testing kits going around in the lower leagues for them to continue the season in a safe way. So all players of all Premier League clubs and all staff will be tested for the virus twice a week, with any found positive case to be self-isolated and quarantined away from the rest of the squad. So you don't send the whole squad to quarantine, because that would just make it impossible to continue the season. And I think it's a very tough situation for everybody, so it's very hard to tell what is the right way to do it, and I will leave that to the health experts because I'm not a doctor. Jason McAteer, the former Liverpool player, is saying that Premier League games should be played at neutral grounds, because if Liverpool are on the brink of winning the title and the game is at Anfield, thousands of people will gather around the stadium just to celebrate Liverpool winning the title for 30 years, even if they are maybe banned to do so. And it will be very hard to police, and neutral venues would help with that. He is also saying, we have all got opinions on how we think things should move forward, but ultimately the number one priority has to be the safety of the people. But every way we look at it, there are advantages and disadvantages to be had. For me, the best solution is 90-minute matches in a neutral venue, even if it has to be played out in a World Cup style tournament where everyone plays every 3 days or so over a 5 or 6 week period. If we are going to finish the season, that is the only way it can be done, as far as I'm concerned. You might as well say, let's have a 5-a-side competition, 10 minutes each way, and you can have a club legend playing as well. That's what McAteer said on Gordon Taylor's proposal to reduce 45-minute halves. And he also said about this, and I fully agree, you can't change the game rules like that. It stains the integrity of the game. We are where we are. You've got to play it out as close to the regulations as is safe. If you play it out at all, I can't get on board with changing the length of the games. It's just unfair, and I fully agree with McAteer's point of view. And Paul Ince, former Manchester United and Liverpool midfielder working as a Sky Sports pundit, said that Man United are kidding themselves if they think that they can catch Liverpool in just 1 or 2 years. This is what he said. It will take a long time to catch up to Liverpool and Man City. If anyone at Old Trafford thinks it can be done in a couple of years with some big money signings, they are kidding themselves. I would look at the departure of Sir Alex Ferguson as a starting point for where we have got to know with Liverpool so far ahead of United. David Moyes came into United at the time, didn't get the time or money he needed to do the job, and then they moved onto Louis van Gaal, who never seemed to be the right fit for United despite winning the FA Cup in 2016. After that, you had Jose Mourinho. He didn't look happy from day one, even though he won a couple of trophies in his first season. It was all about Mourinho sniping at the press, problems behind the scenes with Paul Pogba. There was a general mood of discontent at the club. Then they turned to Solskjaer, and he's a very inexperienced for a job of that size. To manage Cardiff, Molde, and then end up in charge of one of the biggest clubs in the world was always going to be tough for him, and I'm not surprised that he has struggled. The end result is there has been a lot of damage caused by the instability at the club over the last 6 years. And at the same time, Liverpool have had stability, especially since Jurgen Klopp came in. Liverpool had a plan, they stuck to it, even when things didn't go great for Klopp in his first year, and now they are getting the rewards. At United, managers have come and gone, and there is no stability. They have had their own ideas, each manager on players, spent fortunes on terrible signings, and they found themselves 30 points behind Liverpool at the halfway point of the season, which is embarrassing for a club of Man United's stature. And I remember that Liverpool were in this position not too long ago, where we were 30 points behind of the likes of Chelsea or Manchester City or whoever won the league at that time. And I'm just really happy that we are on the other side of the coin now. And Paul Ince continued, they have a fantastic spine, Liverpool, and that's what United are lacking at the moment, primarily because their transfer dealings have been absolutely horrendous. There is no point beating around the bush here. Ed Woodward has failed in his transfer dealings, and I don't think United can move forward until he is replaced or someone comes in to help with transfers who understand the game. That's a brilliant analysis of Manchester United's problems and how far they are away from Liverpool, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, take care, stay safe, see you later guys, goodbye.